All right. Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday, as it is. Unfortunately, due to my schedule and work 911 yesterday, Josh and I were not able to be with you. But here we are on Thursday, Josh, on a Tennessee basketball Thursday evening.
Yep.
How are you, my
Glad to
friend?
be here. I'm great, man. Thank you for having me as always.
Dude, it's my pleasure. It would just be me flapping my gums into the void if you weren't here every week, and it's been a blast, man. It's hard to believe we've only
Yeah, it
got
has
one
been.
more legit week of football. I'm sure we'll do some bowl games and some CFP
And
stuff and all that, but
break that and break down some conference championship games.
that's right. That's right. We've got championship week. Then we'll roll into bowl season, the college football playoff. So still plenty more football content to come. Then we've got NFL playoffs not that far off as well. So that'll be kind of fun as we start closing in on some of these NFL futures that we've talked about, and hopefully some folks heard me back in July when I gave out some of those that have already cashed. Um, so still a lot of football left to be played, and hopefully plenty more content coming. But I will say, I sure as hell hope it's better than it was last week because, oh my gosh. Um, Josh, I'm not going to speak for you. I'll speak for me. There was a campaign that Old Navy had back about, I don't know, 20 years ago or so. In my former life in the corporate retail world, I was employed by them. So I remember this well. They had a campaign that was in between like Thanksgiving and Christmas called The Best Week Ever. They gave away these little promo things, little scratch off cards and savings and all this stuff, made a big deal about it. Well, Josh, I had the worst week ever last week.
Oh no.
Um, Dude, if it was not for, and I hate that this is the way it is, but I'm total transparency, good, bad, and ugly. If it were not for parlay sites, the player prop sites that I won't mention because none of them
Right.
sponsor me, except Underdog. I do have my own code on Underdog.
Right.
So I'll give a shout out to them. The rest of them kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Um, but dude, on straight up bets, um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I went 5 and 9 on straight bets last week. It was ugly.
Happens to the best of us, man.
Man, I had to dip into the Vegas fund.
Oh
I had to
no.
pick up an extra shift on the stripper pole. Um, Dude, it was brutal.
Yeah.
Thank God for the NFL player props, one night of NBA props, and I hit a sweet little $225 ticket on college football Tuesday night.
Oh
So
nice.
if it hadn't been for that, you'd be doing this show by yourself because I wouldn't be able to afford to pay the internet bill.
Yeah.
So, Lord. So hopefully, though, like everybody, we have an off week. We
Yeah.
flush it. We have short memories, and then we move on. I was going to kind of recap some of these but I'm not even going to do it, man. We're just going to flush it, and we're going to move on to week 13.
How did I
So,
end up doing last week?
um, I didn't want to drag you into this,
That's all right.
but well, I think you went 3 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 3 and 3, and
Okay.
then I didn't track all your teasers. I know you missed the Duke and the Bama.
Yeah.
East Carolina came home. Georgia came home,
Yep.
and Notre Dame came home. So about the same. I mean, I think
Right.
total probably about 6 and 6. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 2 on teaser plays. So But
That's
unfortunately,
good.
I didn't have those 6 on the same one. They were kind of broken up. And, of course, 2 of the losers, I had multiple tickets. So there you go. So anyway, that's gone, right? No more of that crap. We're here in the present, looking ahead. No play for me in this game tonight because I'm just so anti-Lyle Jones that I won't even bet on them when I know they're the right side and probably going to win. Last we checked, it was 10-0 Arkansas State.
And speaking of Lyle Jones, Arkansas State muffed the pun and Louisiana recovered.
There you go. So right on cue, Lyle's going to Lyle. But -2.5 Arkansas State, that's probably the side to be on. But it's not going to hurt my feelings if they lose that game. I'll feel bad for you because I know you have them in another source. But
yeah.
Pulling for you. But if anybody's got to lose, I'm okay with it being him. So with that, the standalone game for tonight in college. Of course, we do have an NFL game. I'm not confident either way. That 5.5 number, I always stay away from that. Don't like it. If I had to pick a side or total, I would probably take under. But I threw out some player prop or played some player props tonight. I like Woody Marks is rushing. I do like Davis Mills over passing. I think he's going to be able to move the ball on Buffalo's defense, at least on the left side of the field. You want to stay away from that right side because I forget that dude's name, their corner, but he's a beast. And then I think it's probably going to be lower scoring with Houston's defense and Buffalo. And they got Josh Allen, man. What can you say? So it's hard to bet against them. Although they're not in first place in their division, that would be the Patriots right now. So some big games coming up for Buffalo to win that division again. So, but anyway, we're here to talk college football, so we will do just that. Josh, we have a interesting slate for Saturday.
We do.
We've got some major rival games, and then we've got
the best slate.
Some snooze fests. So not the best of slates, but of course we know, especially getting towards the end of the season with the SEC, we've got homecomings and cupcake games and all that getting ready for the big rival week. So, but I think there's still some plays out there, some games worth looking at. I've got a handful that we're going to talk about, and I'm sure you've got some as well before we get to the most important game on the schedule, and that would be our Tennessee Volunteers traveling down to the Chlamydia Bowl to take on the Lot Lizards in Gainesville. So we'll get to that a little bit later on. But Josh, why don't you kick us off with your first play for the Saturday slate?
I have a lean for Friday if that's okay.
Oh, sure, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, I totally forgot.
Yeah.
We do have a game Friday. Today is not Friday. Shit, I got a game.
Yeah.
I got a game. I got to play for Friday too. So I'm about to saw us both off at the knees. Go right ahead. What's happening tomorrow?
We got Florida State taking on NC State Hammer. Not a strong lean, but I lean towards the over 59.5. Both of these defenses are god-awful. Florida State allowing 20.3 points per game, and NC State allowing 31.6 points per game. Florida State allows 322 yards per game, and NC State allows 440. So the obvious is to take the over in this game. And I like it, 59.5. And I think both quarterbacks are going to have a great night tomorrow. C.J. Bailey for NC State and Thomas Castellanos for Florida State. So I'll lean over 59.5 in NC State, Florida State.
All right. Well, we're going to start out like this, huh?
You like
I'm on the under, but I got it at 61.5. I took it early, and here's why.
Maybe both of us could win.
And it's possible. It could come in at 60 or 61, and we both hit this. That'd be one hell of a handicap there between the two of us. NC State's 4-1 at home this season. Florida State has yet to win a road game. I had to double check that because I didn't hardly believe that stat. They've not won on the road. And it has been a long time since week 1 when they beat Bama, right?
Yep.
But here's the thing, and this is the only reason that I like under in this game, because everything you just said, I agree. Because I looked at the stats, I looked at the rankings, and just kind of like that Air Force UConn game last week screamed over.
Yep.
And it didn't.
Yeah.
I think it's the same kind of thing here, man. Both these teams are 5-0 to the under in their last 5 games. So all those big gaudy numbers, including when Florida State beat poor little East Texas A&M by 74 friggin' points and ran all those stats up, I think both these defenses have gotten a little bit more settled. 5-0 to the under in the last 5, and combined average score, they have only given up 52 points combined in those 5 games on average. So that's 10 points under that 61.5 number. So that's the reason. It's more of a system play for me, more so than it is just a statistical play, because you're 100% right. All of the stats scream, oh, there's going to be a ton of points in this game. Recency suggests otherwise. So that's where I came to the under, but again, under 61.5. And it's clearly been bought down a couple points. Now, I know you're a DraftKings guy, so let me just quickly look at FanDuel. Same number, 59.5, and it's basically a coin flip. It's -112 to the over, -108 to the under. Florida State's got a little bit of juice, -120 at -5.5, and I kind of feel like that's probably the right side is Florida State here. They get their first road win, but I can't back either one of these teams, and that 5.5 number for me is that's a stay away. I do not like that number. It's a ratty line. That kind of tells me that Vegas doesn't really know what's going to happen. So I'm going to play the last 5 games. It tells me it's an under versus full season, and some of the stats that you threw out, which 100% right. I saw the same thing.
Right.
I just kind of like the under. I definitely got the best of the number. We'll just have to wait and see if it comes home. So one of us will, maybe both of us, unlikely, but one of us will be right. Damn it.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's Friday covered. Unless you've got something else, I'm not crazy about anything else Friday.
No, I don't have anything else for Friday.
All right. So what's your first play for Saturday's slate?
My first play for Saturday, we are going to the noon window. We are taking Missouri and Oklahoma under 42.5. I just feel like Oklahoma's defense is going to lock in like they have been most of the season and clamp down on Missouri when they have the ball on offense. And I feel like Oklahoma is not going to score a lot, like 30-plus in this game. And I feel like this under is going to get home because Missouri, their defense is okay. It's just not Oklahoma level elite type. And I feel like the under is the right play in this game, under 42.5 between Missouri and Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm on that as well. Same exact play. Both of these teams are top 12 in total defense, scoring defense, and both of these offenses struggle in red zone scoring. Oklahoma's 71st.
Yeah.
Missouri's 107th.
Wow.
Which maybe, yeah, exactly. It was a little surprising to me as well when I checked that out. We got a taste of Oklahoma's defense, unfortunately. Haven't had the privilege of beating Missouri's ass this year. But nevertheless, I agree, man. 42 is pretty low total for 2 SEC teams, but these are very good defenses, and not great red zone scoring offenses. So I think points come at a premium. This could easily be a 20-13, 21-17 kind of game. So I'm with you 100%. I like the under in that one. So we agree on that one. So throw another one out there.
Yep.
I'll see if I like it.
All right, this is going to be kind of a ugly, gross play. I don't know if you kind of like those kind of plays, but
I do.
hold your nose on this one. We're going to Boulder, Colorado, in a senior day for Colorado. We're taking Colorado +7 against Arizona State. I know it's ugly. Arizona State has no Sam Levitt or Jordan Tossin, their two best offensive production guys on offense. They are starting Blake Sims. He has started the last two games for the Sun Devils. I just feel like Colorado is going to send off Dion on his last hurrah, and they get up and get around for this game. I feel like it's going to be a really close game, and I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado wins this game outright, just because it's probably going to be his last ever home game as Colorado's home coach, and I feel like Colorado is going to play hard for Coach Prom in this one. So give me Colorado +7.
Yeah, I don't hate it. In fact, I kind of haven't settled on what I'm going to do teaser wise yet. But I have that one jotted down because I agree. I think if there's like him, don't like him, whatever, if there's a coach in college football right now that a team will get up to play for, it's Dion.
Yeah.
So I don't hate that play at all, especially with Levitt announcing not only is he not playing, he's transferring. So
Yeah.
I mean, what a loser, man, to just up and quit on your team like that in the middle of the season. That's gutless. That's cowardly. That's I wish all the worst for him in his future endeavors because that's just wrong.
Unless he's a Tennessee Volunteer next year.
I don't even know if I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's that good. So
yeah.
But with all that said, Colorado +7. I don't hate it. I'd probably like it better if it was in a teaser.
One last thing I wanted to touch up on, Hammer. People forget that Arizona was in a really tight game with West Virginia at home last week, and
that is true.
West Virginia they're not that good this season, and I learned the hard way taking their over 5.5 wins this year. We'll leave that story for later, but I feel like Colorado could get up for this one if West Virginia can give Arizona State a close game like they did last Saturday. So I like the spot for Colorado in this one.
Yeah, it's got all the makings for Colorado to not get blown out, at least. They can keep it under a touchdown. That's all you need. But, I mean, again, I think if anybody can get a team fired up for a single game that they can be competitive in, it's Dion and Colorado. So I don't hate it at all. All right, I'm looking at speaking of ugly, here's one for you. I did this a couple weeks ago with I forgot who it was. It was some stupid, ridiculous number. The Citadel against Ole Miss at 54.5. Well,
yep.
Samford's getting 55.5 against A&M.
Oh, wow.
And we all know what's looming on the schedule for A&M.
Texas.
So I don't, again, think this is one of those spots where I can't see Mike Elko leaving his starters in this game much past halftime, maybe a series or two in the third quarter, and then it's mop-up duty time. They'll pull cheerleaders and janitors and concession stand workers and maybe even a couple yell leaders out there, finish this one off. So I don't think Samford puts up any type of resistance in this game. However, beating them by 56 in what's probably a look-ahead spot for Big Brother next week, just for the principle of it, give me Samford plus 55.5 against Texas A&M. All right,
I don't mind it.
Yeah. I've done this like 3 or 4 times. Every one of them have hit. These just ridiculous spreads, and I'm just like, well, why not, right? So I'll do dumber things this week. Don't worry. So, all right, what else you got for us?
This is my second official play. We're going to Eugene, Oregon. Big game in the Big Ten. USC taking on Oregon. So I'm not going to take a full game total or spread in this game. I'm going to take a team total. So we all know this is no secret that USC's defense is ass. Shout out Cam Ward. So we're going to take Oregon team total over 34.5. I just feel like Oregon could put up 40 at least in this game, and this team total is not the right place. I just feel like it should be 38.5 or maybe 39.5. You could not set it any lower with how bad USC's defense is. I just feel like Oregon is going to score at will against USC Saturday, and they're going to be cranking up Oregon's band music and the fireworks every time they score. So give me Oregon team total over 34.5 against USC.
Yeah. All you need to know about this game is Lincoln Riley
sucks on the road.
On the road. He just cannot figure it out. And if there's any stadium that's not in the SEC that is difficult to play in, it's awesome. So yeah, I like it. I think Oregon rolls in this game. I think USC is going to have trouble with this Oregon defense, and that 34.5 is I think definitely the right call. The total, sorry, I had this and then it totally slipped my brain. Yeah, 59.5 is the total, and it's actually got a little juice on the under. So that tells me that Vegas doesn't think USC is going to score a lot either. So yeah, that definitely supports that play. So I like it. I like Oregon. I've been big on them. Not Dante Moore as much as I have just I feel like Oregon's got a pretty solid defense, and they don't get talked about enough or get enough credit.
And I favor USC. They got the quarterback and the wide receiver edge in this game, but they don't have is the defense in this matchup.
And they don't have Dan Lanning.
Yeah.
They've got that bum Lincoln Riley. So he'll get out.
But if USC Hammer, if they had at least a top 50, maybe a top 25 defense, it would be a much closer game in this game.
It would be, yeah. If USC could put up any resistance to Oregon's offense, then yeah, I think it's probably this is probably a 3.5 point line instead of 9.5, 10, depending on where you're shopping. I can easily see Oregon winning this game by 2 touchdowns.
And by the way, that Illinois game still pisses me off because USC would have one loss right now, and I would probably hit my USC to make the playoff ticket.
Yep, you would. Feel pretty confident in that. Yeah, if they were coming in this game with one loss, I feel like they would be in the conversation. Although the committee is trying like hell to get a 3-loss Texas team in there, so
they are.
God,
all right, Hammer. So what's your next play, man?
My next one is going to go to Columbus, Ohio, Porta Potty U. They are taking on the Scarlet Knight of Rutgers. Total set in this one is 55. At least it was when I last checked it. Let's just verify that. Louisiana has taken the lead against Arkansas State. The fight Butch Joneses down 14-10 now. Damn, that game is still – I mean, the second quarter just kicked. Holy cow. I mean, I don't really care. I just – all right, let's see. Isn't that a noon or – well, it's 1 o'clock for you Eastern time.
Yeah, noon. Yeah, noon kickoff.
I thought so. Why am I not seeing it? Do you have this game up on DK? Because for whatever reason, FanDuel has pulled it.
Yeah, it's up on DraftKings.
All right. What's your total?
55.5.
Okay. All right. I'm taking over in this game, and I know it's probably raised a couple eyebrows. Just hear me out on this, okay? This impenetrable Ohio State defense has actually given up some points in the last 3 games. They've given up 10-plus in 3 straight. And against Rutgers, the last 5 games have gone over the total. Ohio State's actually 4-1 to the over this year at home. I think at Ohio State, when they first started the season out, it was defense, defense, defense. And it still is. I mean, this is probably, I hate to say this, it's probably the best team in college football, top to bottom across the board. And it's going to be hard to bet against them in the playoff. But the offense has started clicking, and Julian Sayin is really kind of come into his own, gotten a pretty good feel for this offense. And, I mean, they're just a machine right now. So Rutgers isn't going to have to score much, I don't think, for this game to get there. If they can put up the 10 that that Ohio State's given up the last 3 games, I think this game can get there. And quite frankly, if Ohio State wanted to, they could probably cover this on their own. So I know everybody thinks defense, Ohio State, that's an under. They're 4-1 to over at home this season. So I'm going to go with the trend. I'm going to go with history with 5 straight overs against Rutgers. And count on that defense to crack a little bit, maybe even late in the game, and push this thing on over. So give me Ohio State Rutgers over 55, 55.5, whatever it is. And that will definitely be a teased down total that I will include on one of those tickets as well. So there we go. All right, Josh, what else are you looking at for Saturday?
All right, Hammer, I have another nasty play for you.
Love them nasty and dirty.
Yep. So we are going to a non-conference game in the SEC. And that non-conference game is Charlotte versus the Georgia Bulldogs.
Poor Charlotte.
Or Charlotte. So we are taking Charlotte plus the 43.5. Kirby is not good at covering spreads in these non-conference games. I don't know what his record is, but I would have to say it's under 500 if I would have had to guess. So I'm looking at the full game total over 53.5, and the spread in this one is 43.5. That's nearly almost towards the over. So I just feel like Charlotte is going to be able to score a touchdown or 10 points in this game, and Georgia is at least going to have to score around 60 to cover this game. So give me Charlotte 43.5 plus 43.5 against Georgia. I don't see Kirby and Georgia covering this line because you know who they have on deck the next week after?
Oh
Georgia
yeah,
Tech. Yeah, the rival.
and conference. They don't want to see them in the playoffs either. So some
No.
extra incentive there to beat them. I looked at this too because I like the sick numbers. The
Right.
only thing that scares me about that number not getting it is Georgia potentially could score on defense.
That's true.
And as much as they may throttle the offense a little bit in the second half and, pull Gunner and the boys early, that defense is still going to play.
Oh yeah.
So they get a strip sack, scoop and score, pick six. That's the only thing that concerns me because this offense will easily score enough points to cover this number. So it's that threat of the defense because I did look at this game and I considered the same play you did, but the threat of the defense scoring is what kept me off of it. But I hope you're right. Hope you hit it. Hope it is a look ahead, kind of like Texas A&M that I'm expecting.
Yeah.
And
could be a look ahead spot.
Georgia brings their lunchbox, takes care of their business, and moves on to bigger and better next week. So
True.
very good. All right.
Thanks.
So let's see. My next one is going to be in an ACC game. That's going to be SMU and Louisville. So Louisville's out of the conference championship hunt. So not that they're just going to throw their hands up or whatever. It's more about SMU being in the middle of it. So they've still got a shot to get to the conference championship game. So they've got plenty to play for here. And Isaac Brown, who's the running back for Louisville's, still out. And quite frankly, I've been a big fan of Braum and this offense all year, but it's not been very good lately. And Southern Methodist defense is pretty stingy, and in fact, they're extremely stingy against the run. So we're already down our starting running back. We're not going to be able to run the football. That's going to put Louisville in kind of a one-dimension mode. That's not where you want to be playing this SMU team. So it's only a 2.5-point spread at home for SMU. They're a field goal better than Louisville. So to me, that was pretty easy. I'm going to take SMU minus the 2.5 against the Redbirds, who really at this point they don't have a lot to play for, and I think Rhett Lashley's got bigger fish to fry down the road. So I think they win this one pretty handily. So give me the Mustangs minus 2.5. All right, Josh, what else you got on tap?
Yeah, we're going to Atlanta, Georgia, big ACC matchup between Pitt and Georgia Tech. Winner goes to the ACC championship and loser goes home.
Basically,
so yeah. So I'm gonna take my heart and love out of this because I have Georgia Tech to win the ACC championship ticket. So I'm not gonna play a side. So I like the over 61.5 in this game. And Pitt gives up 23 points per game, and Georgia Tech gives up 24 points per game. Georgia Tech gives up 409 yards per game, and Pitt gives up 325 points per game. I feel like both defenses are not going to be able to stop each other in this game, and both offenses are going to shine. And ever since that freshman Mason Heinickel, I don't know if I'm butchering that name. Ever since he has came in, the freshman, he has looked pretty good for Pitt, except for last week playing Notre Dame. And even Pat Narduzzi was like in his interview, oh, like, we have no chance against Notre Dame. We're looking ahead to next week against Georgia Tech. So I like the over 61.5 between Pitt and Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I like that also, and quite frankly, I like Georgia Tech to win the game outright. I know it's a pretty tight spread.
Yeah.
What is it? 1.5,
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
Anything under a field goal. I like Tech because as good as Pitt's defense has been, and I have championed Pitt's defense, and this when they made that quarterback change, I've been on them
Yeah.
pretty consistently. But man, any time Pitt has played against a team that has a pulse on offense, they give up points. They are a bend and break defense. And this is kind of scary, a number I pulled up. They've allowed – I just had some of these notes I had on my phone. Bear with me here.
All
I
right.
want to make sure I get this number right. Oh, shoot. Where was it? Crap. I just had it.
I hate when that happens.
There we go. Found it.
Good.
Of the 26 red zone trips allowed, opponents have punched it into the end zone 18 times against Pitt this year.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know where that ranks. I'm really usually pretty good about knowing, the rankings and stuff. I didn't look this one up in particular, but that really stood out to me, especially with Haynes King and this offense being pretty proficient in the red zone. So, and we know Georgia Tech's defense is leaky. It would be generous to describe their defense. So I'm with you 100%. I think there's a lot of points here, and I also like Georgia Tech to win this game outright. Again, because they've got some everything's in front of them for the remainder of their season, however long that is.
And who are you going to trust in the big game to go to the ACC championship game? Haynes King or a freshman quarterback for Pitt?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's it's probably now or never for Georgia Tech. I mean, if they're going to do it, this is where they're going to have to do it.
Right.
So what was your number? Was it 61.5?
Yeah, 61.5.
Okay. So I know sometimes our numbers vary, and unfortunately, a point here, a half a point there, it makes a difference.
Very crucial.
Especially if you were an overbetter on the Monday Night Football game this week. It was very critical what your number was. So, all right. So, Georgia Tech Pitt over 61.5. I agree. Throw in there. I think Georgia Tech wins that game outright. Money line is not too terrible to pay a price. So I think
minus 135.
135. Okay, so that's not horrible. Parlay that with something. I like Georgia Tech minus 2.5. I think field goal. That's pretty reasonable to assume here. I'm going to go to the state of Texas. We've got in-state rival Houston taking on TCU. I don't know, Josh, if you paid attention to what's been going on the last couple of weeks with the Horned Frogs, but
they've kind of struggled.
They've not only struggled, they've not been happy about it to the point that, we've got guys fighting on the sideline. We've got Josh Hoover yelling at players.
Yep.
It kind of you kind of get the feeling, man, they've kind of just thrown their hands up with this season. Like, I won't say just totally quit, but they're
Right.
not playing hard. They can't run the ball. They've struggled against any team that's had any kind of defensive resistance, period. And as long of a shot as it is, Houston still is mathematically in the hunt for the Big 12. Now that would take a lot of help, and they could be eliminated from contention this week if things don't go their way. And if they lose this game, they're definitely out. But they're going to have a lot of help. But mathematically, they're still
up.
still alive, chipping a chair, as they say. So, like I said, going back to kind of like with Louisville, they're out of it. TCU's out of it. They're not even getting along with each other. And they just have nothing to play for. So, Houston, home, it's a pick 'em. Last I checked, it was 1.5. It dropped down to a pick 'em. I'm going to take Houston money line here. I don't care where the spread may jump. It may move back up a little bit once some sharp money comes in. It's fine. Anything under a field goal, I think, is probably a reasonable play here. But I'm just going to play it safe, take Houston on the money line because I just don't think this TCU team is they're not on the same page, and I think the horses have gotten out of the barn with Sonny Dykes with this team. So, with a hope and a prayer to play for, I'll take the Cougs at home on the money line. All right, Josh, what's next on your agenda?
This is my last official play, Hammer, before I get to my teaser play in the big game between Tennessee and Florida. So we're going to South Bend, Indiana. Notre Dame taking on Syracuse. So Syracuse has not been the same this season ever since they lost their starting quarterback, Steve Angeli, in Week 4 against Clemson. And I think Syracuse could have had a really decent season if Angeli could have stayed healthy, but that's not the case. So the line is minus 30 half in this game between Syracuse and Notre Dame. And I like Notre Dame in this one, laying 35.5. And they're going to have to put a lot of style points because they want to leave no margin for error if they want to get in the college football playoffs. So I like Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love, CJ Carr, and Jaden Greathouse to put belt to ass to Syracuse Saturday night or Saturday afternoon against Syracuse. Notre Dame big against Syracuse, minus 35.5.
Yeah, I can't argue that at all. That's a huge number. That is a lot of lumber, but everything you said is 100% true. And the total in this game is I'm seeing 50.5.
Yeah.
I don't know that Notre Dame doesn't cover that by themselves.
I agree. Yeah, they could easily have that covered before the start of the fourth quarter, maybe.
I think they named their number in this game, so it's a matter of what they want to do. But one thing you touched on is 100% true. You know, Notre Dame got those 2 losses early. They have zero margin for error. They can leave no doubt to justify them being in the playoff. Now, just like with Texas, this committee's got a hard on to get Notre Dame in this playoff, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all about the money. It ain't about what's right. It's about the damn money. And there's not a bigger brand in college football, unfortunately, than Notre Dame. They have their own network, the Notre Dame Broadcasting Company. All their games are played on NBC. So it's not that they have to, but it'd be in their best interest to go out there and absolutely decimate this Syracuse team, which shouldn't be an issue with how the wheels have fallen off that wagon. And you're 100% right. I mean, since Angeli's gone down, they absolutely do not look like the same team, which is a shame because, I mean, I know we handled them pretty well week one, but I actually like Fran Brown. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good guy. And hate to see him fall from grace so bad, but it is what it is. And, Notre Dame's in a spot where they need to win out and win out strong. So I can't argue that. That's a lot of points, but I don't see any other way. It'd be Notre Dame or nothing for me in that game. All right, next one I'm going to look at is the Utah Utes are hosting the Kansas State Wildcats, and another kind of disappointing team that we thought was going to make a little more noise with Kansas State, but man, just simply put, Utah, this team is on a mission. Get it? Mission, Utah. Anyway, this team has won their last 3 games by an average of 34 points. Now, granted, it was against not great defenses, but let's be honest, Kansas State's defense is not great. And Utah is absolutely – they have one of, if not the best offensive lines in college football. And a lot of people probably aren't aware of how good this line is, how well they run the football, how much they control the line of scrimmage. And they just absolutely throw people around. Like, this O-line it's damn good. So I just don't see Kansas State putting up much of a fight in Rice-Eccles. And again, talk about these big numbers, and 17 for me, that's kind of a big number. I'm laying it with Utah, man. I think they absolutely wreck Kansas State. And this team is playing some pissed off football right now, and I wouldn't want to get in front of them. So I do like the Utes minus the 17. I will definitely tease this down. I think a 10-point teaser would be a candidate here to get that down to 7 points. And they easily, I think, beat Kansas State by double digits. Unless something goofy backdoor cover happens, which is, of course, always a possibility. But, man, I just like Utah. They're definitely the better team. I think they control the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. They make Avery Johnson's life miserable, and they salt away another Big 12 opponent. So give me the Utes, the 2 Utes, minus 17. Josh, I do have 2 more before we get to
go
the
ahead.
Tennessee game. I don't know. You said you had some teasers, so
I had 1 teaser. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give out one of my 2, then you can do your teasers, and I'll wrap up, and then we'll talk some Tennessee, Florida. So let's go back to the Big Ten. Not that anybody wants to, but that's where this game is. So here we go. We got Iowa and Michigan State. I'm on the total here. It's 42.5. Is where I got it. Take a look and see if that still holds. 42.5 it is. And it's got a little bit of juice on the under. It's minus 112 under. It's minus 108 over. That's what I'm looking at on FanDuel. Spread 16.5. Well, that's kind of a wonky number too. 13.5, 14.5, I get that. 17.5, yeah, I get that. I don't know what in the hell 16.5 is. That's a goofiest spread. So I'm staying away from that altogether. We know Iowa's winning this football game, right? So I kind of disagree with the juice being on the under in this game, Josh. I like over 42.5 with Iowa and Michigan State. And here's why.
I like it.
Michigan State is absolutely pathetic on defense. I remember just what seems like a few weeks ago, it was probably about 10 weeks ago, sitting right in there in my bedroom and my nice big reclining love seat and watching the volleyball player absolutely dismantle this Michigan State defense. They're 93rd in red zone. They're 110th in points per drive. Now, the offense has gotten a little better. It's kind of like with Pitt. They changed quarterbacks, and this kid has got like a 27-letter last name. Not even going to try it. You can look him up and stumble your way through it if you want to. But the offense has gotten better. It's not great. It's better. So I think Michigan State, even if it's late, I think they can get a couple scores, maybe 10 points, 13 points, something like that, and kind of push this total on over. Because I think Iowa is going to just pretty much do whatever Iowa wants to do. They can actually throw the ball now, which is different. I know the folks in Iowa City are like, what the hell is this? The ball's in the air. And the Iowa defense, I mean, that goes without saying. It's ugly, ugly football, but
yeah, it is.
They win. This team held Oregon to 18 points and probably should have won that game.
But
they can score, and they'll easily score on this Michigan State team. In fact, they could probably put up 35, 38 points themselves. So that makes the lifting pretty easy for Michigan State. So I'm going to kind of go this kind of contrarian play because I know most people are thinking it's Iowa, so it's automatically an under. And I remember just last year, year before last, betting, I tweeted out, I said, who wants to do an under 23.5 point total on Iowa this week? I'd be damned if they didn't score 22. So we've seen some ugly football games involving
really
Iowa,
ugly.
But they got a little something on offense. So I'm taking over 42.5. Iowa, Michigan State. We'll definitely include this in the teaser. Because it's still a little bit scary to see Iowa in an over anything.
It is.
Unless it's, corn eating contest maybe, then I'd take over however many years. But outside of that, it's weird, man. But I'm going to do it. So I'm throwing the dice here, 42.5 over with the Hawkeyes and Sparty. All right, Josh, you got some teasers for us. Why don't you throw them out there? Let's see what you're doing. I may have to jump on board with you.
Yeah, well, I got one teaser. So,
okay.
6-leg teaser. We are taking California -3, and they're going to be +3 on the new line against Stanford. Cal at Stanford. In the second leg, we're taking SMU against Louisville -2.5 to +3.5 in the new line.
Okay.
Third leg, we are taking Colorado +7 against Arizona State. New line is +13. Fourth leg, we are taking Oklahoma -7 against Missouri. And that new line is going to be -1, basically a pick 'em.
Yep.
Fifth leg, we are going Oregon -10 against USC, and the new line in that is -4, and I love that -4 against USC. Sixth final leg, we're going Washington against UCLA. Washington -10.5, and the new line is Washington -4.5. Thoughts on that teaser?
All right. Well, you led off with Cal -3 in a 6-point teaser. I'm going to close with Cal -3.
Okay.
Against Stanford. I like this quarterback for Cal. Cal Stanford is always something goofy always happens. Whether it's crazy last play of the game, hook and ladder on a kickoff or onside kick recovery, the band coming out. I mean, just the history of this game is pure comedy. So Cal is a much better team than Stanford this year. And I know the game's in Stanford, but this is basically, Berkeley to Palo Alto. It's less than an hour away. So they play in each other's backyards as it is. As bitter of a rivalry as two hippies could possibly have, this is what this is. So, they'll hug and, smoke peyote together after the game or something, whatever. But for 3.5 hours on Saturday, they're going to hate each other. I just like Cal in this game. Stanford has been terrible pretty much all three phases. At least Cal's got somewhat of a defense and has mustered some decent offense, have played tough games in the ACC. Stanford has not been competitive at all. And rivalry game, it's 3. I might take this down to 2.5, down to, I think probably like minus 120, minus 125. I'm willing to pay 10, 15 cents to get it under a field goal. And I do like it in the teaser as well because I think Cal wins this game. I get a 3-point cushion. I'm liking that. So give me Cal minus the 3 against the tree. It's a damn tree, Josh. I will never understand it.
It is a damn tree.
All right. So unless you've got anything else, we are at the witching hour.
Yeah, we are at the witching hour. I don't have anything else left besides the big one and the Chlamydia Bowl.
So we've got our beloved Tennessee Volunteers led by Joey Aguilar. Deshaun Bishop, trio of receivers. Have to go down, and I can't even say the fighting Billy Napier's now. So the lot lizards. I despise everything Florida. I cringe when I go into the state. I feel like I need to sanitize myself when I leave. It is the absolute worst experience I've ever had in a football stadium. I hate this team more than Alabama. And I know they're not even really a rival. But I'm old. I had to live through the Spurrier years. I had to sit there and watch us more times than not lose to these jokers. I can't stand them. There's nobody on our schedule, personally, that I want to see us win against than Florida. And we haven't won down there in forever. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. They come off our schedule as a yearly opponent after this year. So we need to go down there and win this game. They got a bunch of people out. I don't know if any of them are important. I'm going to give a play on this game. I'm going to take under 57. Because, Josh, historically, we have not played well, really on either side of the ball. But I don't see, even if we win this game, I don't see us going down there and hanging 45 points on this defense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know what their offense really is going to look like because we've seen them struggle against group of 5 teams. We've seen them lose to a group of 5 team. And then we've seen them play Georgia tough as hell.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what we're going to get.
Same.
from Florida in this game. But one thing I feel pretty comfortable in is I don't think there's going to be a lot of points. I could see a 24-20. I could see a 27-24. I could see a 2017. I don't see anything that adds up to 57.
I agree with that.
So, and we go down there and we beat them 48-10, then by God, I'll be the happiest loser of a bet that there ever was.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the under 57 for the total with Tennessee, Florida. I'm not going to tell you the side. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you have your piece and your rant.
Okay.
And then I'll share where I'm leaning on the side.
All right. So, unfortunately, I'm going to be on Florida +4 in this game. I just can't get to Tennessee with laying more than a field goal in this game or 2.5. I just feel like Tennessee's defense, we've seen it all year long, giving up third down after third down after third down. I don't know what the percentage is, but it sure as hell is probably high.
Too damn
And
high.
Florida's,
That's what
yeah,
percentage is.
too damn high. Yeah, Florida's defense is solid, and they'll get you stops. And their offense, which looked really pretty good against Ole Miss's defense. I know Ole Miss's defense is Swiss cheese like our defense is, and I get it. Florida didn't score in the second half against Ole Miss, but that had me worried in the first half. Florida was actually moving the ball and scoring at Ole Miss. So that leads me to Tennessee or not Tennessee +4, but Florida +4 in this game. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope Tennessee wins 48-7 or 48-10 and absolutely puts belt to ass in the swamp. But from what we know of how this series has gone, we haven't won down there in the swamp since 03, and it really scares me. It could go either way, but we could have the 85 Bears out there and we probably would still lose. So I'm on Florida +4 in this one.
Yeah, there's three ways I look at games when I'm going to make a bet. One is recency. Case in point, the Ohio State-Rutgers game, over 55. Because Ohio State has cleared that number 5 straight times against Rutgers, right? They're 4-1 to the over in their games at home this year. So historically, Ohio State always puts up a lot of points when they play Rutgers. Then you have trends, which that 4-1 at home this year to the over with Ohio State would be the trend. Utah, who has won their last 3 games by 34 or more points, would be a trend bet at -17 because the trend is Utah covering by that margin or more. Then I look at handle. And most people that do any kind of betting understand handle. That's your amount of money and your percentage of bets. So X amount of money on X amount of bets. So if you've got a high dollar amount and a lower percentage, that means that sharp money, the people that really know what they're doing, are betting on that because less of the bets, but more of the money, right? So the handle. And lastly, you have historical. Historically, Ohio State owns Michigan, right? That hasn't been the case necessarily over the last 3 or 4 years, but historically, they own them. On the rare occasion, Navy or Army or Southern Cal might jump up and bite Notre Dame, but historically, Notre Dame has controlled that series. Just like historically, Vanderbilt owns Texas, right? Vandy's 8-4 against Texas. Now you got to go way back to the 1800s, but still, I love to throw that fact out there to Texas fans that Peabody owns your poverty ass. Which brings us to the history of Tennessee playing in the swamp. It's 22 years, Josh. 22 years.
22 years.
That's enough historical data for me to have enough sense not to bet on Tennessee to cover a 4-point or a 3.5-point spread, depending on where you're getting.
I agree.
Other than the 100 and some odd folks standing on that sideline on Saturday, nobody, except maybe McVall, because we both hate Florida, just I can't explain it. And Nat, too. Natalie absolutely despises Florida.
Yeah, Natalie.
With Ohio State as well. So we three, nobody wants to win this game more than we do. But I cannot bet Tennessee to win this game until we go down there and win this game. So I will play the total. I'm not touching the side. And all we can do is hope that something goes our way. Because historically speaking, it doesn't. And I know Casey Clausen spent some time with Joey this week, maybe today, maybe yesterday. I'm not 100% sure. I've been covered up at work on a federally secured job site that doesn't allow phones or can't even take a damn car key fob in there because it transmits something. So it's basically lockdown. Can't tell you who it is. Have to kill you. So I'm not quite as on top of some of the current events that's happened.
Yeah.
I did catch the fact that Casey Clausen spent some time with Joey Aguilar this week. So I hope that Casey transferred some of that ice water that ran through his veins when he played for us. Because that's what we're going to need. We're going to need balls of steel, Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, we do. We
not
definitely
playing
do.
Scared. Not turning the ball over either.
Yep.
But
Not
going down there and just absolutely dropping his nuts on this defense. And our defense has got to step up.
It does. Yeah, definitely.
Because as shitty as Florida's quarterback situation may be, they can still run the ball. They're very aggressive on defense. They're very opportunistic on defense. And it never fails. Somebody always steps up and plays the game of their life against us. So we just can't let that happen if we have any hope or expectation of winning this game. We've got to break the curse. This is the last time we will play them on an annual basis. It is now or freaking never. So, boys, please figure out a way to get this monkey off our back.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby. Al Davis, all day.
The great Al Davis.
That's right. That's right. Only guy's ever had the balls to sue the NFL.
Yep.
And still play in the league. So, yeah, we got to win this game, Josh. We absolutely have to win this game. I can't bet American money on it.
Yeah.
But I can hope like hell that it happens. And
same.
We're gonna have all day, man. It's a 7:30 kick, 6:30 my time, 7:30 for God's people.
Hey, Hammer.
So, yes, sir.
Does it feel like after that Oklahoma game, I don't know if you've noticed it, but does it feel like Joey has kind of lost maybe some of his swagger?
I think the whole offense has, quite frankly. I think that was I won't say devastating, but I mean it pretty much killed any hope that we had of the playoff because unless the only 3 lost teams that are going to make this playoff would be Texas or Notre Dame, right? So,
right.
I know mathematically, and I know there's a lot of people hoping and creating scenarios on Twitter, and God bless you for it. But folks, let me just give you some dose of reality here. We ain't getting in. Even if we beat Florida and Peabody, we ain't getting in. We don't have a strong enough resume. I'm sorry. I love you. But stop the nonsense. Could it happen? Yes. Could a monkey fly out my ass sitting here? Yes. But it's not likely. At least I hope it doesn't happen. We're not going to get in, okay? So let's stop that delusion.
Could I hit a 20-leg parlay?
Yep.
Probably. Yeah, probably, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's possible. We just need to worry about beating Florida because it's Florida and for no other reason.
Yeah.
We need to beat Peabody next week.
Yeah.
Shut that little asshole up and send him on his way to whatever retail career that he's going to embark on after he's done with his 13th year of college.
Yep.
And just accept it for what it is. We played championship caliber football against Georgia. We played Outback Bowl quality football against Oklahoma. And I sat there last week and watched us really struggle against New Mexico State. It was not a dominant win. The scoreboard said it was. I sat there and watched it. No, it was not.
It wasn't a dominant win.
We had some good performances. We made some good plays. I love the Perlock kid. Going to be a star. He's going to put on some weight, but he's going to be a star. I saw some good plays, but it was not a dominant win. We should have won that game like 56-3 or 56-10. So we've got to break whatever curse is at that stadium.
Voodoo magic.
Got to get out of whatever funk. I think our offense is kind of in a funk. I don't know that Florida's the right place to try to do that.
Yep.
But we've got to figure out something and make something happen offensively.
I just hope
because our defense is not going to win this game for us. It's just not.
I just hope once we win this game, and hopefully we do, and I just hope Joey has like his get back game because he needs a get back game after them falling against Oklahoma at home.
Yes. Yeah, and and we talked about this kind of first of the season where we knew Joey had a little bit of a history of turning the ball over, right? Because just how he plays and slings it all over the yard, and the naysayers and even some of the negavols that were talking about it. I'm like, hey, I'll trade a few turnovers for somebody that's not scared to throw the ball. Because that's what the volleyball player was at times. He was just scared. So we kind of took that trade-off. And then, some of these interceptions that Joey's had haven't been his fault. Been bad bounces. They've been miscommunications, great plays by the defense. And then there's been some that 100% have been his fault. Just bad reads. Got fooled by the safety, whatever. We need Joey on point. We need Joey to have one of his best games down here to give us any chance to win this game. And that's not to put pressure on Joy, because there's nothing I can say that you and I can't sit here and create some kind of scenario that's going to make Joey feel pressure. Okay. So,
yeah,
but that's what it's going to take to win this game. He is going to
for
step
sure.
up, and he is going to have to carry this team.
Yeah.
Because as bad as Florida's offense is, I still don't trust our defense as a whole and our coach
Same.
to go down there and have an effective game plan against whatever Florida's going to throw at us. So,
yeah,
but it is and will be what it is and will be. So all we can do is watch, hope, and hopefully not cry at the end of the game. So
let's hope not.
I hope. Well, all right, my friend, we've exceeded our normal time, which I don't put a time limit on it. We usually try to keep it to about an hour, but it's Florida, so we got more to say. Well, my friend, is there anything else that you want to address, talk about, prognosticate before we call it a day?
No, I think I'm good. I think I touched on everything I had tonight.
Good deal. Well, I will speak for myself. I surely hope that I have a better week this week. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I would rather lose money than give you guys a wrong pick. Because I just part of it was I clearly didn't dig in enough. Some of them were just bad beats, and that happens. And others I just totally blew, totally misread the game. So my apologies if you took anything I said last week and ran with it and ended up in the same boat I did. Hopefully you had other things to fall back on. Definitely trying to be better this week, and hopefully we can have a better result week 13 than we did.
Let's hope 12. So, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, Josh, I guess that will conclude this week's episode.
Yep.
Appreciate you as always being here. I love you, brother.
Appreciate you. Love you too, man.
And we will do it again next week.
Sounds good, man.
All right, brother. We'll see you. Bye, y'all.